Hey gang. Well, some time ago when I did a top 10 personal picks of the worst movies I reviewed last year, there were a lot of really good responses and good comments, and so I thought, well, why not make up some more top 10s, some more top 10 personal choices. And I hope you guys enjoy what I have for you guys. And if you want to help out in some way, well, we'll get to that after the video. Well, after this top 10's done. This is the newest one we have going here, and it's for the top 10 worst Friday the 13th kills. I'm sorry if this doesn't look too good, but you know, I did the best I could with what I had. But these are the 10 worst kill scenes in the movie, and these go from part 1 all the way to Jason X, and it's just one kill per movie. So let's get things started at number 10, which comes to us from, of course, naturally, the first Friday the 13th movie. And it's the scene where, what's her name? I can't remember her name. Goes to try and check on this guy named Bill, who was with her. And when she finally finds Bill, she finds out that he has arrows in him, pinning him up against the shed door. So yeah, I gotta admit that one was pretty bad. Number 9 goes to my all-time favorite movie in the series, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. And it's where Jason gets one of his victims with a party horn in the eye. Seems a bit weird. Number 8 goes to Friday the 13th, Part 2. And it's from where Jason gets this guy named Mark, who's in a wheelchair, hits him in the face with a machete, and poor Mark goes down the stairs backwards the hard way. At number 7, it's from Jason X, and yeah, and it's the scene where Jason pops up, where I guess this doctor or something like that is doing some research. Jason grabs her and puts her face in some liquid nitrogen, and then slams her face the hard way into the table. Yeah, that one's pretty bad. At number 6, it's from Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. It's the sauna, steam, rock death scene where Jason walks in and sees a guy taking a steam bath in a sauna room on the ship and slams a rock into his stomach. Yeah. Got some good ones here, folks. I didn't say they were all winners. Number 5 goes to Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, in which our main female hero Jessica's friend tries to stop Jessica's ex-boyfriend, who is possessed by Jason, and she apparently tries to impale him with something, and she winds up paying for it, where the impaled Jason impales her on this steel rod or something like that, and goes to pretty much just rip her in half. I thought that was a little bit too much. Yeah. Number 4 goes to Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning, and it's probably easily the worst death in the entire movie, the road flare in the mouth death scene. Pretty bad. Didn't make a whole lot of sense. In fact, this is This is, I think, the one movie that a lot of people did not really like all that much, mainly because a lot of the kills were off-screen. And, of course, the ending where we all know Tommy was supposed to take over as the new Jason, but thank God they didn't go with that. Coming in at numero 3, it's from Friday the 13th, the final chapter, another one of my favorites. But this kill scene I thought was completely unnecessary, and it's where Jason gets up in the hospital and gets his first victim with a hacksaw, and then pretty much almost looks like he's ripping his head off his shoulders or breaking his neck, one of the two. That one's a little bit much. So yeah, kind of sort of ridiculous. At number 2, from Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, it is a scene where Jason has grabbed onto Rick, and he's kept his hand over his mouth to try and warn the main female named Chris of where he's at and what's going on, but then Jason goes to proceed to crush his head, and his eye pops out in one of the worst 3D effects ever made in horror history. And my top pick for the worst Friday the 13th kill in the entire series goes to Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, where apparently one of the counselors goes into a cabin, and the next thing you know, you see her going halfway out the window. Jason grabs her, and when she is checked on later on, there's nothing of her in the room except apparently her entire body was smeared all over the walls. Yeah. That to me was probably the most idiotic death out of all of them, and didn't make a whole lot of sense, was really unnecessary and very idiotic. You might notice I excluded Freddy vs. Jason and the Friday the 13th remake, mainly because, well, Freddy vs. Jason, it's hard to say whether whose sequel it belonged to, but to tell you the truth, it was a crossover movie, so it's kind of a little bit of both Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th sequel, and I have not yet seen the remake of Friday the 13th, but you know what, with the first 10, I thought, hey, why not do a top 10 worst kills in the Friday the 13th series from the first original 10. Okay, now, if you have a top 10 that you would like for me to do, send it this way. Of course, it has to do something with really anything bad in the way of horror movies. If you have an idea you want me to do, cool deal. Or if you have a personal top 10 you'd like for me to do, then message it to me, and I will review it and get on it on ASAP. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. So until next time, for Doc Schlock Top 10s, stay strong and rock on.